Heyo, welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie. Today we're going to be taking on Clanker's Cavern. Personally, this is one of my least favorite levels in the game. And by that I mean I don't know, it's like the only level in this game I just don't like, really at all. The atmosphere of it's pretty cool, but I don't know, it involves a lot of swimming, and like swimming in this game is not super great, and it doesn't do a great job of making it feel super, I don't know, interesting. It's just a little boring to me, all things considered. Yeah, and from here until they just stop teaching us new moves, there's only going to be like one new move per level. This one's actually like not as useful as you might at first think. In fact, you can go like you can probably like beat the game without. Maybe not actually. Now that I think about it. But it's also one of the ones that, like, it's, like, hidden behind one of the more infamous challenges in this game that, like, a lot of people had trouble with as kids. So, like, a good chunk of us went through most of the game without ever getting the move in question. We'll find out what that's all about sooner or later. I don't know why I'm doing the ground pound there. It's not, like... It's not like there's fall damage when you fall into water, anyway. Alright, usually what I do to start off this level is I just take care of that challenge, by the way. Challenge in question being, like... Come on. Let's go. Right around here. Yeah, the challenge in question being at the bottom of this pit here. A lot of people really don't like this challenge. It's like, if you're not used to swimming, this can be really, like, hard to do. There's a way you can, like, cheese it, but it's a little bit tedious and annoying to do it that way. Wherein you basically just, like, go up, turn this once, go down. Or, sorry, you go down, turn it once, go up, then repeat until you turned it 3 times. I've already finished the proper objective, but before I go back up, I do want to get all the notes. That said, the way you're supposed to do it and the way that I usually do it, just because, like... I mean, again, that's a way you can cheese it that I just mentioned, but it is ultimately faster to just do it the way you're intended. So it's like... Yeah, it's good for if you suck at the game and really just want to get this challenge over with, but after you've gotten used to swimming, it's not really worth doing. Not all of them? Yeah, okay. And that should be enough to get me back up to the top. Alright, there we go. The flanker's totally taken care of. We can focus on the rest of this. Not too much worries. Honestly, most of this level is, like, stupid easy after that. It's mainly just, like, swimming. It's, like, a little annoying. More than anything, it's just a boring level more than an annoying one. But, like, there's not really much challenge in just, like, going through these pipes. It's just, like, a thing you have to do. I don't know entirely, like, how level design was handled for this game. I know, like, it was handled like differently for a lot of games of this era. Like, I remember hearing like what Argonaut apparently did back in the day was they would have like a team of like a designer and then a programmer on like each level for like a lot of their games. I don't know if Rare did the same thing. I think Banjo-Kazooie only had like 1 or 2 designers anyway. Like as far as like proper design, not as far as like, of course, like art and music and such. But as far as like actual like game designers, I believe they only had like Greg Nails and then like one other dude. I could be totally off base on that assumption though. And don't quote me on that, that's just like me trying to like remember in a haze news articles and like shit I read from ages past. Alright. Yeah, speaking of, like, moon logic of this kind of game, stuff like this is fascinating to me. Also, a weird quirk about the forward thing there, like the egg shooting, is it's slightly askew for the front. I don't know what's up with that. But it is an odd little quirk of this game. Pick up 1 and 2 all the honeycombs. The 2 of them in this level are actually like right next to each other. This one's down here, like under this pipe a little bit. Yeah, I can. Oh my god, camera. There we go. Yeah, the next one's not this way, but like the other way you can go from here. This is just like notes and then this Mumbo token. I think it'll be really fun when we have enough to get like the next 2 transformations, like before we even get the second transformation in total. Don't slide down there, by the way, that's a trap. There's nothing down there. I think there's like eggs if you go down that way, but nothing like really neat. And hey, there's our last Hollow Honeycomb for this level. And the last one we need to get our 7th bit of health. Speaking of kinda of which... Oh, excuse me. No? There we go. Here's our quote-unquote boss for this level. Yeah, this is just like a set of like 4 snippets that you have to like ground pound to hit properly. The next level's boss is actually going to be like basically the same thing. Not with the same enemy, but like it's basically just a squadron of one enemy type. It's not especially interesting, all things considered. Yeah. There's like 3 bosses total in this game that are like that. In fact, there's like, I think only one more boss after this that's actually like boss-like between now and the final boss. Because like from World 5 to 7, there aren't even like anything approaching bosses. It's fascinating to me. Yeah, I guess it's interesting in general that a lot of, like, games around this era started to experiment with the idea of not really having bosses, or, like, only having the final boss. Like, platformers would still have, like, bosses regularly throughout the game, but, like, what am I trying to think of? Like, I'm reminded of stuff like Medal of Honor. Those games didn't really have bosses. Like, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. Like, GoldenEye had bosses, but only, like, I think 1 or 2 of them. How many were there in total? I can only remember, like, 2. It was, like, the fight with Xenia, and like the jungle, I think it was. And then there's like the fight with like Trevelyan at the end of the game. And then like Perfect Dark, it really only had the one boss at like the very end of the game. It was like a weird puzzle boss. And beyond that, nothing. I feel like shooters in general, like, if they had bosses back in the day, they were, like, usually kind of weak. Like, not even really, like, attempting much of anything. They were either, like, a gimmick boss, or just, like, something like Doom, where, like, all the bosses were just, like, more souped-up enemies that you had to, like, barely really put much of an effort on, let's be real. Anyway, let's do this real quick. This is another one I remember actually taking a little bit of, like, effort to take on. Originally. Like, when I was a kid. Like, I remember it being, like, kind of hard back then, but it's another one of those things that, like, you think it's hard as a kid, but then as an adult you sort of realize, yeah, how did I ever find this hard? Like, you have plenty of time to get through it. As long as you're not just, like, completely, like, lollygagging the whole time through. You have, like, a basic understanding of how the game functions. Like, you can see I have, like, 13 seconds on the clock there. Not exactly a hard thing in any measure. Yeah, let's hop down here. There's like 2 different exits here, so I can afford to go one of them real quick. Yep, come on. Had this thing. So, like, when I was a kid, what I always did, because I, like, hated babying cameras, and, like, always wanted the camera to be behind me in games, is I would, like, hold down R for like the whole game. And that made this kind of a nightmare, because I was like, oh. Yeah, I was kind of just doing it there to like show it off. Like I was kind of like constantly having to readjust. It was very awkward. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's just do things normal type. Yeah, it's a lot easier now that I know that that's a stupid idea and I shouldn't do it. Oh. Damn. Oh. I had to take some fall damage there, but oh well. Not a huge deal since I'm probably gonna be like... This is probably gonna be the last video I do this recording session anyway. I forget, is there a Mumbo token in there? Might be. Yeah, here's another thing that I remember like having a lot of trouble on. I think mostly because like the CRT made it a little harder to like determine where all the like cutting patterns like started. Yeah, I kind of fucked that one up because I usually just like have to like zip from that one to that, because these two blades, like the past two ones on here, are actually on the same rotation. Yeah. It is actually pretty easy to go through that without taking any damage, without even using the invincibility. I used to like use the invincibility to like cheat as it, but don't really need to anymore now that I know like what the patterns are and I can like spot them a little easier. But yeah, speaking of which, invincibility is actually the move we're going to be getting real quick. Yeah, I kind of waited until like the very end of the level to get it. That kind of shows you how little point there is to it, all things considered. Honestly, I forget it's even a move in this game most of the time. There's some stuff you need to use the invincibility to like get past, but yeah, for the most part. Yeah, sorry for anyone who's like kind of confused looking at their phones, not realizing it's going off. I should probably have muted my phone before I started this. Oh well, my bad. Yeah, this you kind of need the invincibility to get through this without taking any damage. You can like brute force it if you feel like it, but I don't really feel like it. Might as well grab that one. Yeah, and that's basically it as far as objectives here. Yeah, the last note's right over there. And I think we have like one Jiggy left, right? Yeah, one more. And guess what's at the bottom of this? The last Jinjo. We need to get the Jinjo Jiggy. Yep. That's the whole level done and dusted. I don't really have any reason to like stick around here, I suppose, but might as well like go through the proper way. I could die, but I don't know. Part of me wants to see if I can do a no-death run. Like, it's not that hard. Basically, every time I die in this game, usually it's just because I'm like, yeah, death doesn't really mean anything after you get out of the levels. And hell, because I'm playing the Xbox Live version, usually, like, that doesn't really mean anything when you get in the levels anyway, in those. Because, like, they got rid of, like, the best note scorer and, like, made Jinjo's permanent collectibles as opposed to, like, things you have to, like, try and get, like, all in one go. But yeah, Death has even less meaning in that game than it does in this one. Yep, hello. Interestingly enough, I think the Xbox Live version either has or had its own Wikipedia page for a while. I know with Perfect Dark that's the case, for whatever reason. Like, the port got its own Wikipedia page even though it's the same game. Like, not even like a collection or anything, it's just like Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark on Xbox Live Arcade, playable on 360, ported over from the original code. But it just has its own page for whatever reason. Anyway, this is the next level of the game, Bubble Loop Swamp. Yeah, I could have even, like, opened that earlier in this episode if I wanted to. Because we're not actually, like, prevented from doing that in any fashion. But, eh. Just kind of a case of I didn't want to, really. There we go. I like how the Twitch, like, gets unpressed when you leave the zone for no apparent reason. I don't know why that does that. Interesting, though. Yeah, we also, like, could have gone through this gate, like, or even going through Clanker's Cavern, fun fact. In fact, we can actually go through the next gate right now, if we want to, like the next gate after this. The only question is if we want to, which I don't really want to. In fact, right now I think this is gonna be where I end this, just to, like, sort of keep the illusion of a long take, even though I'm not really doing that because I got interrupted in the last video. Oh well. Yeah, I'll see y'all next time when we take on Bubble Loop Swamp. Later, everybody.